Los Angeles.
Guess what?
What?
On the show today, actor Bill Hader will join us live to tell us about his new alien road trip movie, Paul. Let's hope the intergalactic travelers know about the ass, gas, or grass rule.
What?
Then it's lighter, it's thinner, and it's twice as magical and revolutionary. We'll leave our greasy fingerprints all over Apple's new iPad 2 in Gadgetron, and we will tell you whether or not it's worth the buy.
Then Weston Scott heads to West Virginia to blow up mannequins with sniper rifles at Blackheart International.
Oh, what a sweetheart.
Such a sweetheart. And surfing the web is about to get very expensive. AT&T and Uverse are capping your bandwidth, which means that your Netflix and online gaming could cost you hundreds of extra dollars every month.
Yeah!
We'll explain in the loop.
You know what? I was wrong on my reaction there. I apologize. No,
not
that is a nay, AT&T.
Nay. Time now to run down the top 5 things on the web.
Going around the net? Kitchens.
I think we should talk about kitchens.
I want to
right
talk,
now.
yes, kitchens. Believe it or not, kitchens are statistically the most dangerous room in an average house. Yeah.
Yeah?
Surprised
I believe that,
any men
actually.
get hurt in them. With all the knives and the toasters and the microwaves and whatnot. It's not a man's place.
So if you're planning on performing a display of acrobatics, you might want to try the living room, or you could end up like today's number 5.
What have you done now? How did you get on your cooker?
You knocked the aubergines off the cooker and into the mince pudding.
And don't sully up my tea towels. We're all out of kitchen paper.
I thought you were going to do an accent on that one.
I hate you.
Believe me, I hate me too. Now let's take a moment to preemptively announce that everyone in our number 4 ATN, as best as we can tell, everybody survived. So I'll let you know that in advance.
After watching this, you'll understand why we said that up front.
Missed it by that much. That's why you go to a rally car jump, though. I mean, you've seen. I'm serious. Not to watch anybody get hurt, but you've seen that jump completed successfully 1,000 times. You go in the hopes that that happens. It's like NASCAR.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Also, the corn dogs and tube tops.
Oh yeah, those are good too.
Crashes.
Mostly the crashes, though. In at number 3 today, we have video of a gentleman rolling down the street to the dulcet tones of Ludacris's charming ode to traffic jams. Move, bitch.
How he came to be rolling down that street on a gurney, we can only. Everything in LA has a drive-through.
I still think going to Del Taco for a burrito and an appendectomy is a bad idea, but if you can pull it off, go for it.
We have a remix of Fox Animation favorite King of the Hill by someone that's either a genius or frightfully disturbed.
Internet's usually a little column A, little column B. You gotta take 1 part Mike Judge, 1 part Fensler Films, and the result is this short, which would make David Lynch shudder. Yeah, all right.
I think that video just opened a portal to hell.
It's kind of like an animated version of The Ring. I think 7 days after seeing that clip, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
Or we'll completely forget that we saw the clip. One of the two's one of two is definitely going to happen in a week. Yeah.
Agreed.
Hey, still ahead, today's number one is an unlawful display of sexiness.
Things get sexy up next.
Sexy?
Sexy.
I get it.
Today's ATN featured an extreme outpatient cruising down the highway. With unlimited MPGs on this bed, his destination list is endless. So tell us, where's he rolling to next? Tweet us your responses at AOTS, #OMGROFLOL. If your response is a dose of hilarity, we'll feature it on Friday's show.
Today's number one item comes to us from YouTuber Mike Diva with a very healthy dose of inspiration from John Hamm's Sergio sketch from Saturday Night Live.
Diva.
Diva!
Thank you, Kevin.
Sorry.
Dress his buddy up like Sergio, taught him the sultry sax line from George Michael's 1984 single, Careless Whisper. Thank you.
You can't say the word whisper, you always have to whisper.
Careless Whisper.
There we go.
And took him into the wilds of suburban Los Angeles shopping malls.
Yep. Security guards may not have been amused, but just about everyone else was.
You don't like George Michael? He doesn't like George Michael!
He doesn't like George Michael! Boo! Boo! Oh! Squeak one more out. I love that. That was escalated because when a mall cop breaks out the clipboard to give you a tap,
Just a
you
little
know
tap
he
a
means
tap.
business. Usually when we're laughing at George Michael, there's a men's room involved, so that's a really nice change of pace. Yeah. Google it if you're too young to remember. Just Google it.
Which reminds me, it's time to celebrate science!
Yeah!
Today is March 14th, known in nerdier circles as Pi Day.
It started at the San Francisco Exploratorium in 1989 when colors didn't exist in photography. It started with a march around a circle and a pie-eating banquet, and Pi Day was officially recognized by the House of Representatives in 2009. Today, I don't know what that was. Today we celebrate the world's most famous non-repeating transcendent.
You've had a problem with this
Transcendent
word all
number.
day. It's one word that I can say that you can't.
That's it. With the attack of the show, Pi Day Pie Slide. Transcendent.
Take my shoes off.
Yeah, oh, really?
Yeah,
All right,
taking them off. Now, Kevin
Get
and
that sax music
I-
back.
One more, okay. Kevin and I will each compete to see, this one.
Transcendent. Sorry.
We're just a mess. To see who can slide the most delicious pies down the pie slide to the hungry scientist waiting below, who, in honor of pie's classification as an irrational number, will be pushed back and forth on a dolly by research assistants for no reason.
All right, I will be sliding peach pies. Candace is gonna rock some pumpkin.
Pumpkin?
We're gonna get 31.4 seconds on the clock. And I'll let ladies go first. Why don't you go ahead? Let's celebrate pie. Get it down there. Oh, there we go. This is right there. Oh, that's one.
Yay!
All right, here we go. Yes.
Yeah!
Okay, all right. This is a. Oh no!
Yeah!
All right, here we go. I'm mixing it up. There we go. Oh!
Yes!
I'm behind now. What? No, that's. Hold on, here we go. Double pie! Well, how are we on time?
Messy.
Oh!
Does that one count? I think it counts as a half.
You gotta tilt.
I win!
What?
Oh my gosh, I win!
Wait,
I'm
how?
so excited!
That's not even.
Yes, it is possible. I won.
That's gotta count. That's like a pie fadeaway. That's like a jumper. That was down the board before the buzzer went off. That is a pie fadeaway.
I still won, though. Even with you
We have
having that
both
one.
graphics. Do the Kevin Wins graphics. Let's see what that looks like.
No,
We
that
got them
didn't
both in the
happen.
booth. You just press a
That
button.
didn't
And
happen.
guess what? Then I'm the winner. Hey!
But everyone knows I'm the real winner.
All right, Candace Bailey takes this one. Congratulations. I want some pie.
It's hard balancing.
I'm serious, I'm gonna eat some pie.
You should. I can't.
When you're one of America's highest quality gun manufacturers, sometimes it's best to keep a low profile. But here at Blackheart International today, we're going to see some specialty ARs and sniper rifles.
In an undisclosed location in West Virginia, Blackheart International has been providing military, law enforcement, and private clients with the highest quality handmade firearms in the world.
So, Eric, can you tell me some of the weapons that Blackheart puts out?
Currently, we're building a custom AR-15 type weapon. We're also building precision bolt actions. The biggest thing we're doing is putting the highest quality pieces, parts, and springs in the weapons. Yep, each gun's made, one at a time.
Now, this is one sexy weapon here. What is this?
This is our sniper model of the AR-15. 223 or 5.56 calibrated scope. Well, we'll have a more precise stock for matching the shooter. This grip's a DPMS Panther grip, standard for a sniper type AR.
What's the price out the door?
$28.80. This here is our F-Class 308 bolt action. The stock's adjustable for length of pull and also height of comb. Work down to the jewel trigger, and then you have your bottom safety, and then we're down to the Krieger barrel and the Surefire suppressor adapter. This one, as it is right now, is $6,500.
So, Eric, you got me out on the range. What are we going to be doing today?
Well, today we're going to be shooting a SPR model.
Okay.
And once you've shot that a little bit, we'll go back with the bolt gun and shoot for some long distance. Left target, small.
Wow, that was beautiful. Lower right hand.
Yep, take a breath, press the trigger. Accurate enough for you?
That's amazing. I'd really love to see what I can do farther out. How far are targets set up from here?
Right now, we're back at 200 meters. Woo. Good shot.
I don't know that I could take a bad shot with this rifle. Orange, our right-hand corner.
Give us a little second, and we'll get you a little surprise ready down there.
Surprise. So something different than a tile to shoot.
Oh, yeah. We're going to make a bang for you.
Since I'm going for the headshot, which is, in my opinion, the best shot, I'm going to take my time, get my breathing down. Things are getting a little slippery over here in the cold. I've never seen somebody's head explode before, but that's a pretty freaking awesome effect.
Good shot.
Obviously, there's a little bit of tannerite in there.
Correct.
Tannerite is primarily used in long-range target shooting to let the shooter know if they've hit their target. It's highly stable and will only react when pierced by a high-velocity round.
Blackheart International makes one of the best sniper rifles I've ever fired. Stay tuned for tomorrow when we check out their whole foreign weapons cache.
Massage, I won. That's not tickle. No, don't tickle.
What?
I will.
This is what you're gonna bludgeon me with a
Come
stiletto.
on, I won.
You gave me your foot and said
Massage. No,
that's a
not
massage.
Tickle.
That's a
not tickle.
That's a tie.
Not tickle. Weston, we'll have more machine gun mayhem tomorrow from Blackheart International Summit.
Have fun, Weston, and good luck clearing airport security on the way back. Does this really tickle that much?
Obviously.
You're right. You're fine. You're fine.
Working the new iPad 2 and Gadget Pro. Your old iPad is now an obsolete cat guy.
And later, SNL star Bill Hader will be here live to reveal the truth about his new Alien movie, Paul. Stick around.
Such a jerk.
You're welcome.
You were supposed to listen.
OMG at Usher. Totes just got shot. Hashtag ow. OMG, it's time for the news.
And Andy Yellow.
Of course.
Thanks, guys. Right now, it's time to start the feed.
All the news you need to know. The feed.
It's Monday, March 14th, and here are your top stories. AT&T is clamping down on its subscribers' data usage, and we're not talking about wireless. The internet service provider has announced data caps on all DSL and UVerse subscribers. Landline DSL will be capped at 150 gigs a month, while UVerse will have a 250 gig ceiling. Those who go over their limit will have to fork over an overage fee of $10 for every extra 50 gigs. And this sets a frightening precedent for ISPs looking to control how subscribers use their services and risk screwing anyone who streams TV or movies or likes to game online. In other words, not cool. But we'll have more on this story coming up in the Loop. Japan is in the heart of a massive cleanup and rescue effort after last week's disaster and is still trying to prevent a nuclear meltdown. Multiple explosions at power plants across the land of the rising sun have prompted a state of emergency and wide-scale evacuations as agencies swing in to contain the leaks and test for radiation exposure. 180,000 people have been evacuated thus far, and about 160 have been reported to be exposed to radiation, including 17 American members of the Navy involved in rescue efforts. While things look bleak, the consensus is that a Chernobyl-style meltdown won't occur, which is good news. Remember, you can lend a hand to relief efforts by grabbing your phone and texting the Red Cross at 90999 to make a $10 donation. Hacktivist group Anonymous has leaked a series of emails that supposedly reveal fraud at the largest bank in the country. Dubbed Operation Black Monday, the group posted a large cache of emails that they say were obtained from an ex-employee of Bank of America. The emails allegedly show that the bank knowingly screwed over homeowners with something called force-placed insurance. The leaked materials were posted on the site bankofamericaSuck.com, which has been up and down all day due to overwhelming traffic. Bank of America reps have responded to the allegations and said, quote, "These extravagant assertions are untrue." And finally, in what's being regarded as one of the biggest acquisitions in the history of mixed martial arts, the UFC has purchased competing promotion Strikeforce. No? Okay. Yay! People were initially worried that Strikeforce's 150 fighter roster would be immediately absorbed into the UFC, but UFC President Dana White promises it will be business as usual, with both organizations operating independently of each other for the time being. Of course, most MMA fans just want to know if this means UFC Brock Lesnar will be fighting, finally, Strikeforce's Fedor. The answer, probably not. I'm Andy Allo, and you've just been fed. Now back to Kevin.
Thank you, Andy Allo. Appreciate the news. As you literally just heard, on May 2nd, AT&T will start capping the monthly bandwidth for their DSL and UVerse customers, which means you could be charged a lot more. Now, does this mean the beginning of the end for all-you-can-eat internet? All right, joining me to help us make sense of it all, features editor for Gizmodo.com, Joe Brown is here. Hello, Joe.
Hey, Kevin, and everybody else.
Thank you for joining us via satellite, not Skype, because we don't want to go over our bandwidth for this month. The cap is 150 gigs for DSL, 250 gigs for UVerse customers. Why, Joe, tell me, is AT&T capping the data now, all of a sudden?
Well, I mean, it really had to happen eventually, I think. People are using a lot of bandwidth. AT&T just finished up a one-year study in 2 different U.S. cities where they measured how much data people used. And they said that 98% of their customers actually were using 18 gigabytes or less. So what they're doing here is trying to get out ahead of people using too much. I mean, they're in this game to make money, right? Bandwidth costs money.
That is true, and AT&T says that 250 gigs is plenty for one person. So do you see that there's a problem here? Would you agree that about 98% of people out there only use 16 gigs a month?
I don't know what cities they were studying, and they didn't tell me, but I know that 16 gigs a month would not do it for me. I mean, I actually clock my own usage, and I'm above 100 personally.
Yeah, as am
I.
That
would make me a little nervous.
I mean, if you were a new gamer and you were trying to download World of Warcraft to just play it online, you could potentially demolish that cap just on one game. If you download a lot of Steam games or a couple BitTorrent apps, that could go in a second. And so I hear 98% of our customers don't use this much bandwidth, and I go, that's great. 98% of the people that I know do use that much bandwidth, and they would be screwed if they were on AT&T.
Yeah, they would, and it's really scary, and it does send a dangerous precedent, but I have to say that I talked to AT&T today, and they were sounding pretty cool about the way they start charging people.
Well, so what they say, like, hey, we're going to bill your credit card, but we're going to put a heart around the final total. Like, what are they going to do? How do they get cool about charging you an overage?
They're going to warn you a lot. So first, if you go over your bandwidth cap, they're going to say, hey, just to let you know, man, really sorry, but you went over your bandwidth this year. Kind of like a really shy landlord or something when you owe them the rent. So if you go over your cap that 1 month, they're going to warn you. And then the second month, they're going to start giving you warnings at 65, 90, and 100% of your cap. So they're going to be like, hey, man, 65%, and it's only the second of the month. Can you maybe tone it down?
Yeah, listen, about all that hentai, brah. I mean, tentacles are cool, but maybe not so many.
Yeah, the porn crowd is definitely going to have a bit of a problem.
Right. Again, 98% of the people I know are going to have a problem with this. So you get 2 warnings, and then the third time they drown your cat, or what happens?
The third time they charge you $10 for 50 gigabytes. And again, if 98% of people are using 18 gigabytes, that 50 gigabytes seems pretty generous. But this is not, back to your earlier question, why are they doing this now? Bandwidth usage is going up. Like, if you look at the way that most of us use our internet, it's not just to surf Craigslist for old dressers. We're streaming movies on Netflix, and those can be up to 3 gigabytes each. If you're talking about an HD movie, 50 movies a month, boom, gone. I personally listen to a lot of RDO and, streaming music because it's so much better than having to have this on your computer.
Right.
RDO, they won't release how much each user is using, but they will say that an average song is about 3 megabytes. So if you look at 20 songs a day for a month, assuming people leave the house on the weekends.
Right. Between Pandora's RDOs and Last.fm, some people press play and let it ride all day. They don't think twice about it, and why would they? And I'm just wondering, like, is this going to lead to the future where they go, all right, it's 250 gigs, but then next month it's 100 gigs because it turns out not many people use that, and then I have to think twice about popping a game on my PlayStation 3 because it's going to download a 600 meg update, and now I'm going to be paying for that.
Well, it's going to make those contracts that you sign with your ISP seem a little less onerous. Right now you sign a contract with Uverse or Comcast or somebody, and you're like, oh man, it's only gonna. But what it does is it's gonna lock you into your price for a while, and that's a good thing.
Okay.
The open question for me, and this is something that AT&T wouldn't comment on, is how often are they going to be revisiting this data rate? Because our data usage is only going up right now, especially as we start transitioning away from local storage and into the cloud, which is definitely happening.
Right.
We're going to be using more and more data. So I'm going to keep an eye on it.
Joe, do you think, certainly other ISPs have attempted bandwidth capping. They've tried it in trial areas. Do you think other ISPs will follow suit, or are they going to wait a little while and see how this pans out for AT&T?
I think they'd be smart to wait a little while, because if you see a mass exodus away from Uverse, other ISPs would have a really nice field day with saying, hey, over here at Optimum Online, for example, we don't have any kind of bandwidth cap.
Right.
Come on over, and that would be cool. Or if people just don't realize what's happening, or don't pay attention to what's happening, or don't seem to outwardly care by letting their dollars do the talking, I could see Comcast, for example, being like, you know what, we've got one of those too. 249 gigs, because we hate you.
Well, Comcast can do whatever they want, because I love them, and Comcast loves me. Thanks, Joe Brown from Gizmodo.com for keeping us all in the loop. And keeping me employed, I hope. Let's go over to Candace.
If you like looking at boobs, you probably don't have any great fondness for clothing. But not all clothes are bad, and today's Threads has mashup t-shirts and gangsta tees that you'll kill for.
Said something about boobs?
I did.
Threads! Every great hero needs a greater villain. And while we're not saying evil is good, sometimes it's fun to be the bad guy, especially with these latest threads. First up, kneel before the dark side with this sinister corporate clothing from the guys over at Last Exit to Nowhere. Whether it's Skynet from the Terminator, Initech from Office Space, or Weyland Yutani from Alien, they've got corporate apparel from all of the villainous companies that you love to hate. There's even caps and hoodies inspired by classic horror films like The Thing, Jaws, and The Shining. But if that's too much evil for you, then don't worry. There's plenty of heroic tees from movies like The Karate Kid and Back to the Future. There's even this Ghostbusters tee that glows in the dark. Are you feeling insidious? Then swing by lastexittonowhere.com and snag a tee for about 29 bones. Now, if fictional evil isn't your thing, then check out the criminal-themed streetwear dropping over at Deadline. As part of their spring 2011 line, they've launched a series of tees inspired by historic moments in the Mafia's past, from the Black Hand Gang of the 1900s to a mugshot of the mobster Lucky Luciano. There's also a T with the word omerta dripping in blood, which is the mafia's code of silence. But the best may be this simple shot of Al Pacino from The Godfather 2, right before the famous kiss of death. You broke my heart, Fredo. All of these tees are available in black, white, or gray, so head on over to DeadlineLTD.com and snag a shirt for $28. From the streets, we head to Sesame Street? Well, if you've ever wondered what a zombified Bert and Ernie would look like, you're in luck, thanks to the guys at 604 Republic. They specialize in shirts that twist all of your favorite icons, from an old grizzled Mario to Dexter's Toolkit to a pair of Smurfs fighting off their undead brethren. They've also got Star Wars tees, like this Watchmen-inspired Stormtrooper shirt and the Death Star dressed up as, well, death. However, the coolest tee might be this mashup between Battlestar Galactica and the Muppets. So say we all. If you like demented takes on all of your pop culture favorites, then pick up a tee at 604republic.com for $19. So there you have it, mobsters, evil corporations, and zombies. The dark side may not be stronger, but damn if it don't look good.
Those are some cool shirts.
Very cool
like those.
shirts. I agree. I like that they have holes for your neck and or arms. Hey, let's check in on the Twitters. Shall we?
Yeah, we
Let's do it.
shall. Pink Crusader. Oh, are we in the wrong spots?
No, I
Pink
was
Crusader.
off my little world.
An anagram of Dude Manrod is Mad Nerd Duo. Prophetic or coincidence?
You
All
took the
hail
time to
Mad
figure
Nerd
that
Duo.
out.
AOTS.
That is the kind of person that has algorithms written on their window and then is wearing their neighbors as a fleshy skin suit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I crunch the numbers and it turns out. Actually, it's kind of cool. Thanks for doing the work. Trapped Echo says millions of foot fetish enthusiasts are sending thank you cards to Kevin right now. They're cleaning up their couches. That will stain the leather.
No,
It really
I don't
will.
understand foot fetishes.
You don't?
Just no, because I don't have a thing for feet, so I can't understand that.
Well, show them to the camera again, and then give them your email address, and you'll understand them right away.
No. That's
Go ahead,
okay.
give 'em a little
That's
look-see.
okay. That's okay.
Oh, I'm gonna play them like a piano. Yeah. Perverts.
Thanks, Kevin.
Hope you guys didn't glaze your remotes. All right, let's give away some prizes
Free
here.
t-shirts.
Speaking of those awesome shirts that we love, congrats! You just won 4 shirts from Deadline, including these shirts of Lucky Luciano's mugshot and Al Pacino from The Godfather 2. If you didn't win, you can get 20% off at DeadlineLTD.com with the discount code AOTS until March 28th. So, congrats, and thank you, and all that fun stuff.
If you want to be a part of the show and end up on our Twitter wall, tweet us at AOTS or use the hashtag AOTS.
Time to rate a magical device.
iPad 2.
Yeah, it's Gadgetpron.
Now that Apple has changed the world of tablet computing with the iPad, they're trying to make it the best it can be with the iPad 2. Thinner and lighter than ever, this tablet runs hundreds of thousands of apps from the iTunes Store and at super fast speeds because of a dual-core A5 processor. Front and rear cameras are also included, so be the first to get the second for $500.
Here it is.
Magical,
The iPad 2.
magical and evolutionary, everybody.
So exciting. Now, it really is thinner than the iPhone 4.
I didn't believe you
Look
until
at
just
that.
now.
Look,
and
there
I
it is.
just now believed you.
It's also about 30% thinner than the original iPad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of people didn't like how heavy the first iPad was, so this one is about 4 ounces lighter.
Mm-hmm.
So is this easier to hold for a long period of time?
Yeah, 4 ounces easier. It is, which, by the
Sounds
way,
about
is
right.
noticeable. When this was dropped off, I picked it up and went, oh, holy hell, that is a little bit lighter.
Well, I think it just feels lighter because it's thinner.
And it's 4 ounces lighter. I mean, those two things combined make this feel lighter
My
and thinner
golly, you're
than the
a
original
genius.
iPad. But no, again, it is, holding it for lengthy periods of time, it is a little more comfortable, and
Yeah.
it did make me a little sad when I had to go back to my original iPad.
Yeah. Do you think the smart cover is worth $40
Smart
or
cover.
$70 for the leather one?
Do you think the Genius Sheet is good for making your tech device go sleepy time?
I hate this.
Look, when we saw this thing announced, we had little nerd-ons for it. We were really good to go over it because you slap it on, it has magnets, and it just
Wrong
sticks
way.
to the cover. Yeah, there we go. And it will stick to it and put it to sleep.
It's
and then
cool in theory.
If you peel it back, it'll wake it up. And so we saw that. You could even do one of these bad boys with it. Hold on, check this
Ooh,
out.
Look at that bad boy.
Oh, look, I'm iPadding. But guess what?
It falls off.
It falls off. It's flimsy. When you're holding it, it sort of flaps around, and you kind of do this. And when it does fall off, I almost dropped the iPad 2 three or four times because of this case.
Too,
yeah.
And it's very scary. And I like the other case because it protects the back as well.
A lot of people are saying that as well. So listen.
So if you drop it, you're screwed.
Kudos to Apple for selling these things for like 40 and 70 bucks, which this is only like $1 worth of material. So kudos, but stay away. If you're getting the iPad,
Just
find another
throw
case.
it on it.
Yeah. Oh, it's magical. Revolutionary. I launched Google Maps. That's cool.
Now, the dual-core
really
processor is supposed to make it twice as fast and provide up to 9 times better graphics when you're playing games.
And it is noticeably faster. We'll give it that.
Yes.
Launching applications, loading web pages, it's definitely quicker than the original, which we expected. But the system itself is also, if I may, peppier. Yeah,
Ooh,
you know, it's a
how
little
so?
pep in there. Some games are already optimized for the iPad 2, like Infinity Blade and Real Racing 2. They look and play fantastic. The extra horsepower lets them do some anti-aliasing and some tricks that make games look better. And they really lend to the credence and to the claim that the iPad is a full-fledged gaming device. In addition to the e-reading and the internet tableting and the instant messaging and whatnot, this thing is a full-fledged handheld gaming device.
Now, apps like iMovie and GarageBand are designed for the iPad 2 because of its speed.
And they're killer apps, honestly.
They are.
Yeah.
I just tried them for my first time.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I love them both.
Yeah, I
really
agree.
Fun.
iMovie runs
cool.
better than it did on the iPhone 4, and the larger screen is really what makes this app a useful tool. It wasn't the easiest thing on the iPhone small screen, but here you can really pinch and zoom, really edit the
is
photos
that
of your
your
wiener dog.
dog?
To the best. No, it's a guest from hell at best.
You're so mean.
The GarageBand app, though, is a ton of fun on the iPad. The instruments are pressure sensitive to your touch. You can make and edit tracks just like you would on a Mac. Apple's doing a really good job of loading these things with applications that would make other tablets a little jealous.
Now, we finally get front and rear-facing cameras on the iPad, so do they take great pictures like the iPhone 4?
No, not really. They just don't. The rear camera takes good enough pictures. It does record 720p video, but it's not even close to the quality of the iPhone 4. It also doesn't have a flash, which is a bummer because another little tablet that we love
Why
called
do
the
you
Zoom
think they did
does.
that?
To give you a reason to hate yourself when the iPad 3 comes out. That's all it is. That's what they do. The Photo Booth app is fun to screw around with, just like it is on any other desktop or any other MacBook.
I'm in love with the Photo Booth.
Yeah, a lot of people have fun with this one. I just wish they included more filters or something else, because it seems like the same app that we always get. The front camera is only VGA quality, but of course it works fine with FaceTime. And we like FaceTiming on the iPad more than the iPhone, just because of the huge screen. I mean, it's like you're holding a giant communication device, which is fun.
Yeah. Now, Apple also added video output, but you gotta buy an HDMI adapter for an extra $40.
Again.
Should we get that?
A nickel's worth of material, and they're charging
Yes,
$40
but it's
for
Apple.
it. It's ridiculous, and they can get away with it, and it's actually kind of cool. Everything you do on the iPad 2 is mirrored through the HDMI, whereas before, the original iPad would only have video out on certain applications. So you had to launch the app, press a button, and then maybe it would support video out. This thing gives you 1080p, up to 1080p output, no matter what you're doing, which is cool. If you're an educator or if you want to use it as a media center, it's a really good idea to grab one.
Yeah, okay, cool. So it's only 40. I mean, $40 is expensive, but to
This
do all
is
that.
nothing.
No, I know,
This is
but I'm
5 cents
saying,
in tiny
to be
Chinese
able to do all
hands,
that,
putting it
it's
together.
kinda cool.
That's all this is.
Yeah.
It's not $40.
All right, well, the price hasn't changed, so it's still $500 for the 16 gig.
Do you think this was made in Cupertino? No.
Can I finish?
Please, sorry.
It's still $500 for the 16 gig Wi-Fi version. What's our rating,
So here's
Mr.
the thing.
Pereira?
It's missing a couple of things. The iPad 2 doesn't have some things that the Zoom has. There's no camera flash, which is a bummer. Still no Adobe Flash support. It's never going to happen.
Never.
Well, it will with some software hacks, but never with Apple support. And no expandable storage. So that's a bummer. With that said, at $500, it's still the...
That's a really bad drum roll. Let me try that again.
I thought you were having a seizure. I really thought you might have been seizing. At $500, it's still the best tablet on the market, 5 out of 5.
Yay! I love 5 out of 5.
I want to point this out. Original iPad owners do not need to upgrade, but if you waited to buy, now is the time. The iPad 2 is pretty sweet. There you go.
Agreed. I will not upgrade.
There you have it. On March 24th at 8 p.m., by the way, we'll have an exclusive look at Zack Snyder's new movie, Sucker Punch.
We'll take you behind the scenes to see fight choreography, interview the cast and crew, and have a special sit-down with director Zack Snyder.
Ooh, special sit.
Stay tuned. Aliens and nerds collide in the new movie Paul.
And Bill Hader is here to talk about the new sci-fi comedy road trip flick. So stay tuned.
Stick around.
Don't move.
Stay
This portion of Attack of the Show is brought to you by Warner Brothers Pictures' Sucker Punch, from the director of Watchmen and 300. In theaters, March 25th.
Fail. You're dead. Major fail. Fail. Good. Fail, 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 fail. You lose.
Angry aliens may have owned the box office this weekend, but not all ETs want to murder you. Here's what happens when FBI agents and nerds collide.
What brings you to USA?
We were on holiday.
We've been to Comic-Con.
These guys have met Adam Shadowchild. Who the hell's Adam Shadowchild?
He wrote Night of the Moths.
Oh, boss. Brilliant. What was he like? He was a bit intense. Oh, well, he's an artist.
Let me see this.
What is this, nerd porn?
It's my novel.
Hey, do you think this is it? Doubtful. What else do you find in there? Not much.
Okay.
You guys can go.
Thank you. May I ask what you're searching for?
No.
Joining me now, Bill Hader. Now, nerd porn is something we know a lot about on this show.
Yes. Well, then you will like this movie.
Yeah, I think we will. It looks great. Now, this film seems like it was made for our viewers who geek out over movies and on Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah. Well, part of the movie takes place in Comic-Con. The opening of the film is Simon Pegg and Nick Frost's characters at Comic-Con, and they recreated it in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh,
So it's pretty amazing. They couldn't go to the actual Comic-Con because Simon and Nick are pretty famous with the geeks.
Now, Simon and Nick, you actually go way back with them, right?
Well, I've been a fan of theirs since Space, the show that did Space, which is amazing. Yes. And Shaun of the Dead.
How you first met them?
I did.
At a screening or something?
Well, I met Edgar Wright, who directed Spaced and Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, and then he introduced me to them, and yeah, we're all just nerdy. I think the first thing I said to Simon Pegg, I said, where are you going? He's like, I'm going to the comic book store. And I'm like, what are you getting? And he's like, Criminal, Ed Brubaker. And I was like, I love that book. You know what I mean? And it was like, hey, all right. You know, and it was immediate, like, all right, you're in.
So it must have been so fun to get to work with your friends like that.
Oh, yeah. And outside of them, you know, Kristen Wiig, who I work with on SNL, is in it, and Jason Bateman, and
it's a great cast.
Joe Latruglio, who was in The State, which was a show that I loved growing up. And then Sigourney Weaver is in it. It's crazy, yeah. So, yeah, it's insane.
Now, this is a really road trip sort of film. So were there any favorite spots that you stopped along the way?
No, well, the one cool thing was we shot in Las Vegas, New Mexico, which a lot of movies have shot there. One of them was No Country for Old Men, the whole shootout in the street, and that hotel that they have the shootout in. We stayed in that hotel.
Oh, really?
So like we're like the cat, you know, the cat and the milk thing. Yeah. I like was Harvey Bardem.
Pulling your guns out.
Yeah. One of us would be Woody Harrelson, and we like go to the room. Yeah. And Red Dawn shot there. Easy Rider. If you look, there's a scene in the movie with Simon and Nick walking down the street with Paul dressed as a cowboy. And there's a movie marquee, and it says Easy Rider and Duel, this Steven Spielberg movie, because they both shot in that town.
That's
Greg
really
Matolla's
cool.
little shout out.
So you're around so much comedy. What makes you laugh on a daily basis?
What makes me laugh on a daily basis?
What inspires you?
Oh, no.
What makes you laugh?
I don't.
Because you're making the world laugh right now.
I don't know. What does make me laugh? I mean, I work at SNL, and everybody there makes me laugh really, really hard. You know, we just had Zach Galifianakis on the show. He's really funny.
He's kind of funny.
He's kind of funny. Yeah. He's pretty hilarious.
That's Zach Galifianakis.
That's Zach Galifianakis. But yeah, I mean that makes me laugh. I mean Zach makes me laugh. But everybody at the show, you know.
Do you just have so much fun riffing with each other all the time?
Oh yeah, you would think it'd be like there are those moments where you're like, this is how it is. But a lot of times it's us on Tuesday night or writing night at SNL when you write the whole show on Tuesday night. And so
you just sit there and write it out the whole night?
Yeah, you're just you stay there
ideas
all
off of each
night.
other?
Yeah, and I'll be in there with a writer, and you're just freaking out, going, "What are we gonna do? The show is on Saturday. We have no ideas." Yeah. So it's terrifying. So good comedy comes out of being scared.
All right, thanks to Bill. Go see Paul when it opens this Friday.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Stick around. Today's epic fail will make you want to burn down Hogwarts. Up next.
Evil HD. See what happens when the cult classic gets a revamp in Game Break. Then we rate the new Motorola Atrix 4G phone and gadget prawn. It boasts a lap dock that allows you to edit documents and take calls using a laptop screen. And on DV Tuesday, Chris Gore will review Academy Award nominee The Fighter and Sci-Fi's Schlockfest Sharktopus. See it tomorrow.
The title alone. All right, folks, it's time for today's epic fail.
Look, everyone likes Harry Potter. It's very whimsical.
Yeah, but sadly, some people like Harry way too much.
How else can we explain this horrifying parody of the classic Duran Duran song Man Eater, as sung by he who must not be named?
Will only come out at night and also in the day.
We all have the dark mark on our arms.
So cool. We wear black hooded robes.
With our craziest faces, sometimes we scare ourselves.
Oh, here we come. Watch out. Watch out, Potter will screw you up. Oh, here we come. We're the Death Eaters.
Is there a spell I can cast to unhear that?
Yes, it's called whiskey.
Actually, I was wrong. That song is Hall & Oates.
Yeah.
Forgive me.
Duran Duran has never been happier that it wasn't their track that was butchered. Let's just fail all of that, please.
Thank you so much to Bill Hader.